Hi everybody, it's Karen at Simply Living for Him. It's Monday at 2 o'clock, and like I promised, we were going to do a live video so that we could chat about the Simply Living for Him retreat this summer in July at the beautiful lodges at Gettysburg in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So I wanted to do a live video so that people could come on and ask questions. If you have direct questions about the retreat, if you're sort of on the fence about coming, if you wanted to hear anybody's experiences about the retreat, hopefully some of the attendees from this past retreat will be joining us, and maybe they can share a little bit of insight about their experience. If you are watching, please comment below and say hello so I don't feel like I'm just sitting here talking to myself. Hey Jessica, thank you for commenting and joining us for the Q&A time about the Simply Living for Him retreat. So I'm guessing this is all working. I'm trying something different today. I'm trying to use my non-Wi-Fi because these videos are always giving me trouble on here. Living out where we don't have very good Wi-Fi signals, so my videos are always very stuttery and grainy, and I'm hoping to use my phone and make it work today. So thank you for commenting, Jessica. I'm going to talk about the retreat. I'm going to tell you how the retreat came about. Oops, I need to turn that volume down, sorry. I'm going to talk about the retreat, and I'm going to talk about how it came about and why we're doing it again and what to expect if you are interested in coming on the retreat. I'm going to try to answer any questions. If you're watching, please make sure that you tell me any questions that you have. Put them in the comments right now, and I will answer any questions as I can. Also, I wanted to mention our wonderful sponsors for our retreat. The retreat is sponsored by several different companies right now. We're always looking for more sponsors. So if you have a small business or a ministry and you would want to partner up with us in any way, please let us know. But right now, we do have some wonderful sponsors. When this is over, I'm going to put the links in the comments for all of the sponsors. But sponsors help us in so many ways by either financially supporting our retreat or giving great items away to our attendees. Last year, we were able to bless our attendees with items from these sponsors companies. So this year we have several sponsors on board already, and I'd like to introduce them to you. We have, I'm going to look on my cheat sheet because I don't want to leave anybody out. We have Apologia, which is one of my favorite homeschooling publishing companies, and you know, even though we are not necessarily a retreat for homeschooling moms, we're for all moms, or not even all moms, I should say, all women of any age and any stage in life. But Apologia has a lot of resources just for families and for mothers and for Bible study and things like that. So they are blessing us by sponsoring and donating some really fabulous things that all of our attendees will get, some resources, and also some goodies to give away throughout the weekend. And they are also sponsoring our dessert reception. So you'll hear all about our dessert reception in just a little bit. And we also have Amy's Monkeys, who is actually rebranding, and she is becoming, she told me her new company's name is called Essentially Homemade, and she's launching this Wednesday her beautiful handmade items, and you can visit her. I'm going to put the links in the comments as well at Essentially Homemade, and she has donated some beautiful handmade items. Oh, I should have brought it up here with me for this to show you guys, but there's this apron that I really want to win, even though I can't because I'm running the retreat. It's so adorable. But she has like homemade aprons, and she has some handbags and different homemade items that she has sent over to me already that we're donating for the weekend to give away to some of our attendees. We try to do some fun little giveaways throughout the weekend. So then we also have my friend and my one of my first time attendees from last year, Amanda. She runs a Etsy shop. It's called Ajunda in Stitches, and she has these beautiful homemade crocheted earrings. I'm not wearing them right now, but you've probably seen me wearing them in pictures and videos, and I always point them out. They're adorable. Last year, she made a set for every single attendee that came to the retreat, and this year she is sponsoring us, and she's blessing every attendee with a homemade item, crocheted item again. So you will be so blessed by that. And her Etsy shop, I'm going to put the link in the comments. Hi, Pat. It's good to see you here. I'm glad you joined in. Hey, Lori. So anyway, Ajunda in Stitches, she has an Etsy shop, and she is going to be blessing all of our attendees. Hey, Amy. Amy is our winner. She won a giveaway ticket at Christmas time. I'm glad to see you here. I'm glad you made it. So get all your questions in order now if you have them, because I am going to be here to answer questions. So you guys can type any questions you have about the retreat in the comments below. We also have a sponsor, Bible Stories from the Heart. She has donated 2 goodie baskets, gift baskets of her Bible study resources. And, you know, my heart is for equipping women to be in the Word and to study the Bible. So this was the perfect sponsor for us. And I will put her link as well in the comments when I'm finished. And Susan Hutchinson. Susan Hutchinson has a essential oils business, and right now she told me to let you guys know she has a special going only until tomorrow, the 31st. So I am going to put her link in the comments as well. She is donating some really huge items for you guys to give away for the retreat. So if you are interested in essential oils or you use essential oils, she is donating a fairly large gift. So you will not want to miss that. She is also sponsoring our bonfire. So we will have a bonfire again this year, time of fellowship with our first evening on the retreat, and she's sponsoring that as well. So these sponsors are amazing, and I'm going to put their links in the comments. I see Amanda just joined. Amanda, I just mentioned you and your Etsy shop and your beautiful crocheted earrings. Amanda has joined the discussion, and she was one of our attendees from last year, and now I'm happy to say she's my good friend. And that's what the retreat has done. It has made so many of us good friends. So I'm going to just give you guys a little bit of background about the retreat and how it all came about. And maybe some of you have heard about this story already, but I'm going to share again for anybody who just is wondering why I'm doing this retreat and you know, where I got the idea from. So 2 summers ago, I started a ladies' prayer group at my home, and it was completely out of my comfort zone, but I totally just felt this call from God to open up my home every week for a ladies' prayer group. And at first, when I decided to do that, I kind of expected it to just be my friends. And I'm just being honest. I was thinking, well, I'll have ladies' prayer group, and then we'll, you know, have coffee, and the kids will play, and we'll chat and hang out. And I sort of just expected like my usual friends to come over. And it turns out that none of my usual friends came because, you know, it was summer and everybody had different schedules. But I really felt like I needed to put it out there. So I kept putting it on Facebook. I kept putting it on my page and saying, you know, open prayer group at my home every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. All are welcome. Please come. And it was so amazing because it was not at all what I had planned for this ladies' prayer group, but it was so orchestrated by God because the first week I had these 4 different women come from completely different areas of my life. And I was like, okay, God, what are you doing? This isn't my plan of like coffee with my friends and, you know, prayer. So I saw his hand though that day when all these women came from completely different areas of my life, didn't know each other. Some of them I really didn't even know that well. And we got together for one common thing, to seek Jesus and to pray. And what happened when they left was I saw that each person had something in common and a reason why God brought them there. Because all of a sudden, this person had something in this common with this person and they connected on some level. And when they left, I was like, whoa, that was like an amazing experience. These 4 women would probably not have gotten together that way if we hadn't just opened up this prayer time. So they came from completely different places in my life, and we all connected with this one common thing, to seek Jesus. So long story short, every week I was doing that. I was opening up my home and waiting to see who God would bring. And every week it was like, whoa, it was that exact person or those exact people that I could tell he wanted there for those reasons. So it really grew me, and it really made me more on fire for women getting together, and women getting together to really be authentic. And I know that word is a little bit like, I don't know, one of those buzzwords. So I don't mean it in that way, but it was almost better that these women sometimes didn't know each other when we got together to pray, because we were able to really connect and share with each other. And there was no like judgment, and there was no, like people didn't know each other's backstory. So people kind of felt more open to just share and to pray. And that was the thing that connected us. We all were so connected because we were there just seeking Jesus. That was our only thing on our agenda, was we're going to get together and pray and see what God does. So fast forward, as that summer went on, I was thinking, wow, I would kind of love to do this on a larger scale, like open up my home for the weekend, because we live on this beautiful property and I'm all about sharing it and bringing people here and, just enjoying the peace that this property brings me. So I would look around and be like, well, I don't know if I could really open up my home for a bunch of women on the weekend because I don't have that much room. So I, sort of gave this idea to God, and I said, God, what do you want me to do? I want to be able to provide a time. And originally I was really thinking like a time where we all unplug and just get rid of the phones and get rid of the computer and get rid of all that stuff and just get together to seek Jesus. I wanted that feeling that I had when the women were together, literally just seeking Jesus. There was no other thing on our agenda. So anyway, I started praying about it, and I couldn't get this idea off my mind. Making the long story short, trying. So I kept praying about it, and I didn't understand, like, God, you gave me this idea, but where am I going to do this and how and whatever? So for a few months, I looked at different venues, and nothing felt right. It didn't seem right until one day, the lodges at Gettysburg, where we had stayed on vacation several years before, had just came up randomly in my Facebook page. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness, that place would be so perfect to get away from distractions. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. So this is so unlike me and so out of my comfort zone. I contact them and I set up a meeting, and I tell my husband, can you drive me out to Gettysburg, which is like 3 hours away, to, go to this meeting. I want to see about having a retreat. And I'm telling you, this is so out of my comfort zone. I don't do stuff like that. So we went, the whole family went, and we drove out there, and I went to the meeting. And when I got out of the car, I didn't even step foot inside yet to the meeting. I got out of the car and I looked around this place. And I said to my husband, this is the place. This is it. I know this is where the Simply Living for Him retreat is going to be. It is such a beautiful atmosphere. It's set up on a hill overlooking all these beautiful farms and all of Gettysburg, and it's quiet and peaceful, and the views, the sunsets. If you love sunsets and sunrises, you are going to die because they're just so beautiful. So I was just so excited. And, we went in and we had the meeting, and she showed us around, and all I just kept saying the whole time was, this is perfect. This is perfect. Like, I can picture it here. So, we planned the retreat, and the whole time leading up to the retreat, I was terrified, because I was like, what am I doing? It was just like the prayer thing that I had at my house. Nobody really from home signed up to come to the retreat. It wasn't like my friends were coming. I had a lot of you guys out there, the readers and people that, maybe had heard me speak at conventions and things like that signing up, but nobody I really knew. So I was like, God, what are you doing? This is crazy. And I kept telling him, when I would pray, like, God, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I should cancel this whole thing. I should call it off because I don't know what I'm doing. And I have written so many times in my journal that I kept during that time, Karen, you don't know what you're doing, but God does. And boy, did he ever, because that whole weekend was so amazing. It was so much more than, I didn't want it to be like a fluffy woman's retreat or a woman's conference or anything like that. I wanted it to be simple. I wanted to share my ideas about simplifying. I wanted to do that, but I really wanted women to connect And that's exactly what happened. I have 30 new best friends from that weekend, and the relationships and what that retreat has done beyond that weekend has been amazing. And those are the things that I can't wait to see what God does again, because it was about so much more than just that time. You know, we talked about simplifying, we shared together, I gave sessions, we worshiped, we had prayer, we had meals together, and but it was what happened after we left that place, you know, and we still check in with each other, and it's just amazing. We pray for each other, and we have a little group, you know, on Facebook that we can communicate and talk to each other and message each other. So when women come together, that is my mission for this retreat, is to bring women together. Like I said, this retreat, people came from all different places that I didn't even know. None of us hardly knew each other. Some people came in groups, but most of us did not know each other. Some people came alone. I gave them so much credit. I would never do that. They came alone. But they were all seeking something, you know, learning to live more simply and all that, but mostly we were all seeking Jesus, and that's what made it so special. None of the other stuff of the world mattered for those 48 hours, except that we wanted to seek Jesus. So I want to tell you what you can expect if you are planning on coming to the retreat, if you're thinking about coming, you know, if you're on the fence, please ask your questions. Now is the time to ask questions, because I'm here to answer them. But I wanted to tell you, now that you know a little bit of the backstory, you can read my post on Simply Living for Him, where I talk about, you know, more in depth of what went on that weekend and the beauty of it. But I prayed before that weekend for every name on that list every single day. I still have the list hanging over my desk and hanging over my sink, and I would just read those names to myself every single day whenever I caught sight of that list, which you know is a lot when you're at your desk in the kitchen sink. So when I actually got to the retreat and got to see the names that I had been praying for, it was just like, it was so cool. And I still pray for them. So anyway, your name can be on that list too, because I keep adding to that list now that I have new attendees for this year. And I'm so excited to meet the people that are signed up already. And we have space for a lot more. So please let me know if you are even just on the fence and you have questions. Now is the time to ask your questions. It was such a unique weekend, and it's so hard to really put in words what happened. And I know what happened last year was completely unique for that weekend and for that group, but I truly believe that God has another purpose for this time. He has a great purpose for this, because I keep covering this in prayer and I keep feeling Him, you know, leading me towards doing the retreat again. Amy, hey, you said your lodge is booked as of today. Yay! Oh, the lodges are gorgeous. Oh my goodness. When I say lodges, don't get me mistaken. It's not rustic or anything like that. They're really beautiful. So let me talk about lodging, since Amy brought it up. The lodging for the retreat is not included in the ticket, and I will tell you everything that is included in the ticket in just a minute. The lodging is not included, so that means you do not have to stay at the lodges at Gettysburg. The lodges at Gettysburg is very unique in that the venue where we have the retreat, you know, it's like a wedding space, like a ballroom and conference room type areas that we use. And that's in like their main building. And then outside of their main building, and they also have like a little spa upstairs and a little restaurant. Not a restaurant, I think they call it like a tavern, like snacks and drinks and things like that. And then off of their main building, it's not a hotel. It's they look like little tiny houses, if you've seen, you know, those little tiny houses. And each one is separate. And they sleep either, you know, 2 people up to 8. And you can get, you know, one that's more just like a typical hotel room that would just sleep 1 or 2 people. Or you can get ones that go up to 2 bedrooms with 2 bathrooms, fireplace, you know, they have a little outdoor sitting area, a sitting room, like a living room, you know, so they're really beautifully decorated. It's very like, you know, Civil War-ish style, but really beautiful. It's not at all rustic. So, you know, they're a little bit of a luxury, and I get that. So, you know, you do not have to stay there. There are so many options locally. I have some people that are staying, their families are staying down the road in an RV campsite, and their families are going to stay there while they attend the retreat during the day. So that's a really inexpensive option. There are every kind of hotel, motel, a couple of miles away in Gettysburg, because the lodges is nice. nice. It's not in the touristy, like, downtown section of Gettysburg. It's set apart. It's like on the outskirts, way up in the country part. So it's beautiful and secluded. But just you could go a few minutes away and you could stay at one of the hotels or motels. Last year, Amanda, I believe you guys stayed in an Airbnb. I don't really know what that is. I hear about that, but I remember you saying that, but I don't know what that is. So if you want to give your experience about that, you know, that's another inexpensive way. Or if you live locally, you can just join us for the retreat. You are welcome to come and spend the whole day and the evening, you know, up until bedtime, and then go sleep wherever you want. So you do not have to stay at the lodges in order to get the most out of the retreat. If you want to stay at the lodges, though, it is a beautiful option. Like I said, it's a little bit of a luxury, but if you're coming with a lot of people and you share one of those great big lodges that are like 2 bedrooms and sleep up to 8 people, you can pay only per person $75 for lodging for the whole weekend. So it isn't that expensive if you split it with the group. The most you would pay is if you were coming with 2. It would be like $135 for the whole weekend, for both nights total. And the nice thing about the lodges is they all have kitchenettes. Even the little 2-person hotel room one, they all have at least a refrigerator and a microwave. So any meals that aren't included in the retreat ticket, you can bring food, and that's another way to really keep the cost down. So if you have any questions about the lodging, ask now, because I can sort of explain how it works. Like I said, they're these separate tiny little houses. So you each have your own like separate little individual little lodge. Some of them actually connect. There will be some that are like the little 2-person one connect to the bigger one. So they're not quite private, but they are still your own little, I don't know how to say it, tiny house. They're adorable. So it's very much in the way of the whole like simplifying thing and, you know, your own little space. So that's the lodging. Now, if you do stay on site, we do get a discount. We have a group discount for the lodges at Gettysburg. All of that information is on the website right now, the Simply Living for Him retreat website, which is the link that I put in this description. If you go on to the lodges at Gettysburg, in order to see the accommodations that they offer for the retreat and to see the prices and things like that, you have to enter the code. And that's on my website. I believe it's SLH 2017. I'm sorry, I believe it's SLFH 2017, but double check that because I had it wrong for a little while. So, and it's Simply Living for Him 17. So that will allow you to see what is left, what lodges are still available, because we have a block that they have blocked off just for us. So if you want to be part of that block, you will want to book early. I would, you know, recommend doing that. As for the retreat ticket itself, I'll tell you what that includes. Amanda, yes, what? About, I'm sorry, I just see the comments now and I don't know when you said it. So anyway, I'm just me. Okay, so the retreat ticket, what it includes is, this year we are adding in even more options for the schedule. But last year, so we don't have the schedule set in stone or anything yet, but we're basing it on last year because we got really great feedback about the schedule last year being a great balance of not too much activity and, you know, keeping busy, but also having a lot of downtime, because face it, you're on a retreat. And, you know, everybody's different. Some people are coming to really just be alone and to get away, and they don't want to be doing a lot. You know, other people like to be a little busy. So we try to make it a nice balance. Now, obviously, there's nothing you have to do, but, you know, we do have a schedule of events. So on the Thursday night, important to make note, this retreat runs from Thursday night to Saturday morning. Last year, it ran for the weekend from Friday night to Sunday morning. The reason I changed it this year was, number one, the lodges gave us a bigger discount for our lodging if we stayed, you know, on the kind of off nights, the Thursday to the Saturday. So I figured that would be helpful. And also I figured it helps to have everybody leaving on Saturday, because this way you're home on Sunday so you can worship with your home church. So anyway, we're trying that this year. If we do the retreat again next year, you know, we can always reevaluate, but we're trying Thursday to Saturday this year. And so you will arrive for the retreat anytime after 3 o'clock is check-in at the lodges, if you're staying at the lodges. And then you are free to settle in and get yourself, you know, situated, take a walk around their beautiful grounds. I'm telling you, it's so beautiful. They have a beautiful little lake. They have little hiking trails. And then we started the official retreat around 6 p.m. Again, I'm not setting anything in stone right now for times, but we're sort of basing it loosely on last year. So we started at 6 p.m., you know, check in and get settled in the retreat area. And then what we did was we had a welcome session where I spoke. Well, actually, I should have said first we had a reception. We had a welcome reception with some light snacks. It wasn't dinner, but it was light snacks and drinks and things like that. And this year we'll be doing a welcome reception again, but I think it's going to be more of a dessert reception. So you'll have dinner on your own and then join us for the dessert reception. And then from there, we did a session. I talked a little bit about what to expect for the weekend and, you know, gave one of my talks on simplifying. And then we had a beautiful evening outdoors with a bonfire. And that was just such a fun time to sort of get to know everybody. And we had a worship time before we went down there. And then when we were down there, my daughter and my other friend who helped lead worship, they played guitar and sang just like in the background acoustically. It was beautiful. So we had just a great time there. Hey, Amy has a question. Just to help give an idea, you reserved the Lieutenant's Lodge, 1 bedroom with 2 queen beds. Okay, I'm going to get to that in 1 second because I'm going to lose my train of thought. So, yeah, we'll go back to the lodging in a second, but I see your question. So, and then the next day, what I thought worked really well last year and we'll do again this year as far as the schedule is we will start probably around 10 o'clock. So you have breakfast on your own. Like I said, all the lodges have kitchenettes, so you can have your own breakfast. They have a little breakfast you can purchase there as well at the lodges. I don't remember how much it is, maybe like $5.95 a person or something. You know, you could always do that. There's little places down in Gettysburg, whatever, or just bring your own. And you can have your breakfast, and then we didn't start till like 10 o'clock. Now this year I may do some optional things kind of in the morning, like I have a friend, and I'm not going to mention any names, but she was on a retreat last year, and she does this really cool exercise thing. She does worship workouts, and I am so excited to maybe be able to offer that this year. Like, she does, you know, aerobics and workouts, but to worship music, and it's so fun. I've seen her do it. It's so cool. I love it. So maybe that'll happen. We'll see. And, you know, we want to maybe offer something like that in the morning, even before the retreat starts, or have somebody available to pray with you if you want to go walk down by the lake and pray, or this is your time to really just be alone. You can sleep in. Hey, it doesn't start till 10. If you don't want to get up early, you don't have to get up early. You can sleep in. That's the beauty of getting away. And then we started off around 10 o'clock last year, and I gave a session, and then, so the whole schedule went from like 10 to 6. So I gave a session, and then we had some optional, what I called mini sessions in between, where, you know, you could either have a mini session with me where we talked more about like practical things about simplifying. Because, you know, when I talk in my sessions, it's all about the heart stuff. I love to just, you know, get to the heart of simplifying and get to the heart of, you know, getting rid of clutter. But then I gave these mini sessions where we did talk about practical things, how to reduce physical and mental clutter. And so we had that. I also want to offer some other options this year. Like, I have a friend who may be able to do some more like intensive Bible study in that optional session because, you know, some people want to take it further. So we may be offering even some more intensive Bible study sessions. And then we do include lunch on Saturday, a catered lunch at the lodges at Gettysburg. They have beautiful, beautiful lunch area. They have outdoor patios that overlook everything. And so we have a nice break in the middle of the day for lunch, and we all had lunch together. And that was really fun. And then, you know, we had another session in the afternoon and then some more optional sessions. So we'll be doing similar stuff like that again. We also have worship time. I have my dear friend Robin Miller and my daughter Grace and Robin's daughter Noelle, who led worship last year. And the only, I think, like if I were to say negative comment I got about the whole retreat last year was that they wanted more worship. The ladies wanted more worship time. So hopefully we will be able to do that this year, because the worship was beautiful. I didn't want it to be a concert. I didn't want it to be a performance. I wanted ladies to be able to just come and worship purely and authentically, and that is exactly the heart of Robin Miller. She is such a servant to just, use her gift of her beautiful singing voice to really bring women together to worship. So we had beautiful worship time. We had a time where the women all prayed together, and then we ended for the day at about 6 o'clock. Now, what was really neat is in the evening you have, time to do whatever. Again, enjoy the grounds at the lodges at Gettysburg. You can go into Gettysburg. I'll tell you the spot to go. There is the most beautiful lookout place in the center of Gettysburg, up in the battlefield, and you can watch the sunset there. And pictures don't do it justice. I mean, it is like you're high up and you just overlook everything. It's so beautiful. So some of us went and did that. We did, my family did. And go get ice cream in town, go out to eat. Some of the ladies, what was really cool was some of them came alone, and then they got together in the evening to go out, and that was really fun. So the evening is sort of, your own time to do stuff. And then the next day, which will be Saturday this year, we will have breakfast included in the ticket, and then we will also have another session and some more worship time, and we really did a lot of praises before. We talked about, before we went home, we talked about all the praises from the weekend and what we all got out of the weekend. The mission of the Simply Living for Him retreat, I have it kind of my notes here. It's on the website. You'll see the full mission, but the basic mission of the retreat and why I'm doing this is to provide time for all women to get away from distractions, gather in a peaceful place. And again, all women, not homeschoolers, not mothers, not young moms, not old everybody, all women, we all need each other at every stage of life. So to gather together in a peaceful place for quiet, rest, fellowship, prayer, worship, time exploring God's word together, and learning to live authentically. If you guys have heard me speak, I am all about Christian women coming together and being real and authentic and get rid of, all that fuss that women out in the world have. So we are striving for God's standards and not the world standards. And that's one of the overall themes. And, learning how to lessen clutter in our lives and live more purposefully for the glory of God. You can see the whole mission statement on the website. But my desire is to get women together, to seek Jesus together. You can plan on being unplugged if you want to. Originally, we were calling it an unplugged retreat where you had no phones and no computers. But I don't want to police anybody. If you want to bring your phone, that's between you and God. If you want to bring your computer, that's between you and God. Some of us were taking pictures and putting them on Facebook during the retreat because it was just that much fun. We wanted to show off our fun. So, I don't want to be like policing anybody or making anybody feel guilty or whatever. It's a great idea. If you want to, this would be the perfect time to get away and be unplugged, but you certainly don't have to be. Back to the lodging question Amy set. To help give an idea, she reserved the Lieutenant's Lodge, which is 1 bedroom with 2 queen beds and a sleeper sofa in the living area. The total was $360 with taxes and fees added. She had to call to make the reservation. Okay, so thank you for giving us that. That reminds me, if anybody out there wants to come and share the cost and have a roommate, but you don't have anyone to travel with, please let me know, because I'll keep a list and connect people who don't mind sharing with somebody else. Then you can share the cost and you can stay in the beautiful lodges, and it's really won't be as expensive. So please let me know if you are interested in coming. If you have any financial hardship that is keeping you back from coming to the retreat also, please let me know. We don't want that to be a hindrance to anybody. We're not trying to make a ton of money on this retreat. We have to cover our costs and cover the costs of the lodges and the food and renting the space and all of that. So we're doing our best to make it an affordable time and worthwhile for everybody. And, just providing women with a really great experience to get away from it all in a very peaceful atmosphere. So if you have any questions, if you're thinking about coming, if you're not sure if you should come, if you're not sure what to expect, if there's anything on your mind, please let me know. Also, if you have a group coming, please email me at Karen@simplylivingforhim.com. I am happy to give you guys discounts if you're coming together as a group. So please let me know if you're doing that, and we can give you a special link for your group to register. If anybody else is out there with questions, or if you were on the retreat last year and you have any experiences you want to share, anything I forgot, I'm looking at my list. A couple people have asked me if they can bring their children or if we have child care. We don't provide child care. I would say you could bring like your, mature teenage girls if they want to come, but it is geared more toward women, but definitely, they can come. But the nice thing about the lodges is, if you are having trouble, I know some people want to come and just get away from their family. I get that. But if you are having trouble coming because you don't have anyone to watch your kids, or, you don't want to leave your family behind, you can bring your family. That's the beautiful thing. The lodges are big, so you can make a family vacation out of it. The lodges at Gettysburg is set in such, if you're homeschoolers out there, it's set in such a great place to have your husband and kids go explore while you're at the retreat. They will not be bored. There are so many things to go see, so much history. It's such a great area. I love it there. But you can bring your family and they can do their own thing while the mom, comes to the retreat. That's another way, you are fine to do that. My whole family will be there because they're my staff. So they'll be there, but when I'm doing sessions and hanging out and stuff, they're free too. So your kids can play with my kids. So, and we had other family members that came last year and they brought their family. So I'm not against you bringing your family. The only thing is the retreat itself is only for women. So just remember that. The retreat is for women, any age. I really believe that women of all ages should be together, that we can learn from older women and older women can teach younger women. And I believe that all women at all stages of life would benefit from coming to the retreat. It is not at all just for homeschoolers. It is not at all just for moms. It's for any woman. The focus is on simplifying, of course, my favorite thing to talk about. But we talk a lot about heart stuff. And really at the core is seeking Jesus. Because I'll say it, all the time. I believe the remedy to clutter and chaos is Jesus. So the more we desire him, the less we desire stuff of this world. And that's why our theme this year is turn your eyes upon Jesus. We sang that last year and it stuck with me. I can still hear the ladies singing that in my head. When we turn our eyes to him and we look away from the things of this world, all that stuff sort of fades away. And that's what I want for the weekend. I want us for that whole time while we're there to turn our eyes on him and let all the distractions of the world fade away. Let all that stuff go away so that we can clearly see him and our purpose and go home feeling so refreshed about what is our purpose and why do we have all these distractions and how can we get rid of all those distractions. So during the retreat, I'm already planning my sessions, but we'll be talking about turning away from the things of this world and then turning to him. And then we'll be talking about how to keep our eyes fixed on him, because it's not easy. When you're at the retreat and you're all pumped up and you're like, yes, I don't care about the things of this world and I want to simplify and I want to lessen distractions and I want Jesus. And then you go home and it's like, you get right back into all that worldly stuff. So I want to be able to equip women how, when they go home, to keep what they've learned there. And that's the really cool thing about this retreat is, like I said, all of the women, we still are connected, so we can keep it going even after the retreat. We can talk to each other about prayer requests. We have a little group where we chat, and we talk about prayer requests and we talk about what we're still working on. So it doesn't just end at the retreat. It's not one of those, like I said, fluffy women conferences and it's all exciting and then you just go home and it's over. And I didn't want it to be about fluff, I wanted this to be a really meaningful time together. So I hope that gives you some idea of the retreat. If you have any questions, please, feel free to ask them now. If you were on the retreat and you're watching, please feel free to comment and let me know, or let the viewers know what you loved about it, and if you're coming again, why you think it would be, something that somebody else should do if they're considering it. Just double checking that I told you everything that's included in the ticket. Some meals, the sessions, obviously, the worship time, all the optional activities. The lodging is not included. We talked about that and how you can find lodging, and there are so many different types of lodging for every budget in the area if you don't want to stay at the lodges. But if you want to treat yourself, grab your girlfriends, because you can make it an affordable time away if you bring a whole bunch of women. So I would encourage you to do that. And then I can give you a group discount on top of you're getting a discount for the lodges. So let's see. Like I said, it's a great balance of our schedule of, you know, having a lot of things to do, but giving you a lot of downtime. And again, you don't have to do any of it, but it's included in your ticket. But, you know, I'm not going to police anybody on what they should do. The lunch is included, the breakfast on Saturday. I think I have read all of my notes. As I tried to keep notes so I didn't forget. But if anybody out there has questions about the retreat, otherwise I'm going to leave this, excuse me, I'm going to leave this video up for a while so that you guys can refer to it anytime if you have questions. And if you're watching it after it was live, feel free to still comment, because I can always come in later and answer your questions. Or you can always just directly email me at Karen@simplylivingforhim.com, and I will gladly answer your questions about the retreat. I would definitely, if you're considering it, reach out to me and let me know so I can help you decide. Maybe it isn't for you, or maybe it is. I am praying that God brings exactly who needs to be there, and we saw that happen last year. I prayed, you know, God, just bring exactly who you want there, and we all felt it. We all saw that each person came for a different reason, and we all truly felt that God just like wove us and knitted us all together for that weekend, and really now for life, because we've got friends forever, because we'll all be together in eternity. And it was just a really cool thing to see how God brings women together, and we need each other, and we need to support each other, and we need to encourage each other, because it's not easy, especially nowadays in this world that we live in, to live as Christians. So getting together like this was just an amazing experience, and hopefully you'll go home with some tools of how you can simplify your life and live more simply, and really what that means. You know, it's a mindset, and it's a lifestyle, but it's something that, like, I can't give you like a method, like this is how to simplify. What I try to do is point you to Jesus and say that he really is the remedy to clutter and chaos. And the more you desire him, the less you desire of this world. And the more we fix our eyes on him, the stuff of this world quickly fades away. So that's really the message behind the whole weekend. And women, like I said, getting together to just share and be together. And sometimes it's great to just be with a whole bunch of women you don't even know, because you can just really feel free to open up and share. So I would encourage you to come. It's July 13th to the 15th at the beautiful Lodges of Gettysburg in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It's a Thursday late afternoon to Saturday. Will probably end before lunch, probably 11, 12 o'clock is what we did last year. And so it's not a ton of time away, so it's kind of like a good balance for that as well. If you're hesitant to leave the family, it's not that long of a time. You can do it. So I would encourage you to join us, and I would encourage you to ask any questions anytime. And like I said, if financial hardship is a problem and you really want to come, let me know. If you are coming with a group, let me know. And don't forget, there is that discount on the website for the lodges at Gettysburg if you want to stay on site, but you certainly don't have to. So I think that is about it. I think I covered everything. Amy, I'm excited. Field trip, you said about the lodges, about Gettysburg. Yes, it's such a great area. I'm excited that you won the ticket, Amy, and you'll be joining us. You're in for a real treat. Any other questions that I missed? I'm going to scroll through before I end, because sometimes I go off and then I see all these questions that I never saw, because I don't know, I'm not good at Facebook Live. So let's see. No, I don't see any other. Oh, hey, Lori. I see your name, Lori Lane. Nice to see you here. And Kate, Okay, if anybody else has any questions, otherwise I am going to end the live video, but you can, ask me anytime, even after the video, any questions you have. So I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.